No.
So, Zero Interest, Season 4, Episode 12.
Yep.
That's one of these that we're going to be doing for quite a while.
Yeah. Last one of RWBY, at least. We can do Zero Interest for something else next.
We can, but even that's going to be a bit of a ways off.
Yeah, I know, it's going to be a ways off.
Yeah. Still don't know what we're going to do, RWBY Season 5. A bit ambivalent at the moment. But,
I think the point of this was to get me to watch RWBY, and you've succeeded, so...
Mission accomplished, I guess.
I mean, if people want to see Season 5 when that comes out, I guess we can, but it won't be the same sort of person who's already seen everything and person who's just new to it.
Yeah, it'd be a different format, so I don't know. Just call it RWBY Reviews or something.
Yeah.
We'll probably get more views doing that, to be honest, actually reviewing it as they come out, but
yeah,
it's not important. So Season 4, Episode 12, whatever the hell it was called.
It was called No Safe Haven. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Ha ha. So...
The opening fight scene, I just want to get your opinion on it as a whole first.
It's okay.
That's the entirety of your opinion on it?
Okay, well, here's the thing, right? This is a really cool design for this guy. This is like this is the coolest design Grimm they've ever had.
Yes, it is. Including the dragon, including the gorilla, including the sea dragon.
Yeah, including all of them. And it has some really cool tech with the stretchy arms and everything. But, John says, let's run in a circle, guys.
Yeah. I'm going to let you keep giving your opinion before I give mine.
There's, and I like the whole part where, Nora and Ren go back underground where they were before. We're not underground, but back under the building where they were before. And they have that little moment where it's like, you're going to get yourself killed? I don't want that. I want us to stay together, And he takes out the knife. Turns out he still has it.
I want to point out, I don't want you to kill yourself pointlessly, and I want us to be together. And he turns around and he sees the little girl version of Nora.
Not like this.
That, among a lot of other things in this season, have actually kind of killed that ship for me. Because it really, really reads more like a brother-sister relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. It really does. And so he grabs a knife and he's like, okay, Ren takes control of the situation, kind of. And it's just like, okay, Ruby's like, I got the arms. John's like, I got the other arm. Nora's like, I got the horse. And then Ren's like, I got the rest.
I'm surprised she didn't say horsey, but...
Yeah. And they do the whole thing where they pin the arms. Nora has a sick little drop down hammer smash. And then Ren goes up and he does the whole, for my mother, for my father, for everyone you killed, and for me. Where have you seen that before?
Even beyond the fact of seeing it before, it was delivered kind of poorly.
Yeah. Again, his voice actor isn't the best.
No.
But again, that's kind of, that has more to it than, there's a lot going on behind the scenes regarding that.
Yeah, that's... It seems almost insensitive, and that's the problem. That I'm saying it's unfortunate because of all that behind-the-scenes stuff, that the show would probably benefit by replacing him, but there's obligation to not do that.
Or him to do some more voice acting classes.
Yeah.
Like, he could still improve. He could still improve and do that role, I feel like.
Yeah, I might be selling him short just saying get rid of him, but yeah, he needs to really fucking work on it. Or, in hindsight, he needed to work on it before now, because this was his arc, and now his character basically has nothing. So, it's too little too late, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, fight scene concludes. What was it? 8 minutes in, 9 minutes into. Okay, it was close to like 10 minutes into the 27-minute episode. Yeah, fight is over.
27-minute episode. A fight that's been hyped up for literally the entire season. Like they say, hey, this town was destroyed by one Grim, and this town was destroyed by that Grim too, and
yeah,
all of it went on a rampage of destruction for about 20 years. No, not 20 years. About 10 years. Because they were about 10. And these 4 hunters in training killed it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. 10 minutes, yeah.
And they killed it by circle strafing.
Yeah. Like I said before, Dark Souls.
Yeah. Remember Season 2? Yeah, this feels like Season 2.
That's exactly what I was going to say, actually, regarding this. It is all set up. This season is literally all set up. And while some of those things do pay off, this fight, which was supposed to pay off, I feel ultimately didn't. Because if you're going to have literally the coolest designed Grim,
yep,
I feel, and the one that's been hyped up has been on a rampage of destruction and took out an entire town.
Several towns.
Yeah, took out Ren's town, his father, all that. You gotta have more than just it screams and it has stretchy arms. That's all it does.
Yeah.
It screams and it has stretchy arms.
At pretty much no point, like, even when Nora was going like, don't die pointlessly and stuff, at no point in that fight did they ever really feel like they were in particular danger.
Like, its hands, it can't kill you with one hand. It has to use 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's even a point in the fight where it stretches its hands out, pins Ruby down, and then just pulls it back and doesn't do anything. Like, what was the point of that?
It was... If it had grabbed somebody and with that stretchy arm just smashing into the ground and just kind of like...
Could have done. Like, the frenetic movements of the hands, it absolutely could have done. And that would have actually given it some...
That would have made me like, oh no. But it
impact, but it just didn't. It didn't do anything.
It was a limp noodle monster.
Yeah.
And...
It just feels like such a waste.
This is the arch enemy of Ren's life.
Yeah.
Of his life. And it's brought down by 4 people in 10 minutes. Who weren't fully trained, by the way.
No.
They got their training cut short.
Very short. They were in their first year.
If you got, like, any of the teachers, this would have been dealt with.
Yeah. This, like, most of this team wasn't even in, like, the trial by fire shit that the Team RWBY had to deal with. Like, most of that stuff, they weren't there for. So they don't even have that going for them. It's an incredibly green team, save for RWBY.
And, like, Haven is right there. Haven is, like, you could send out students on missions to take care of this thing beforehand.
Could have done. Probably should have done.
Yeah. So, the fact that...
After, like, it killed its first town, they probably should have. Second town, they definitely should have.
And if this thing is still around, it needs to be... You need to understand why it would be still around.
Yeah. Because surely huntsmen and huntresses have been sent out in the area at some point. Like, actually fully trained ones.
Yeah.
And fully trained ones probably would have noticed the tracks of the giant Grim that's hanging out in the area and destroying towns.
I thought this Grim was going to be way bigger than it was, and it wasn't.
I mean, it was kind of big. It was like 3 people tall. But that's, what a horse and rider...
The fact that it's turned into a horse and rider, and it has the whole rider-human part, you think, okay, it's developing. Maybe it's actually smart. Maybe that's the thing.
It's really not. It just, like I say, pinning it down and just not doing anything. It's not smart at all. It's surprisingly stupid. It's like it doesn't even have hunting instincts.
I mean, honestly, the whole Geist Grim fight, where it was just possessing rocks and everything, was more interesting of a fight than this.
Yeah.
Because...
it didn't help that the environment actually felt kind of boring. I mean, a destroyed town, it should have some feeling of an oppressive atmosphere, but it doesn't. It felt very flat and boring, almost like we were back in season 1.
I was almost wishing this thing would just be dripping Grim off it like the dragon.
That could have been
or
cool,
something.
But might have overcomplicated things. But
yeah,
I don't think
it needed more. It needed more.
Yeah, it could have done with being a little more complicated, I guess.
It needed something to make it special that would make it more unique than just its design and stretchy arms
and screaming.
Yeah,
which at the end didn't actually affect anything.
It didn't do anything. No, it just screamed, and it didn't. Ren just looked at it in the face and it screamed at him right there.
When he had no aura, which, just pointing that out, that was the thing that happened.
And it did nothing.
Yeah, so pointless and useless.
Like, if that scream summoned more Grim, okay.
That could make sense. I mean, it gets credit for taking down the town single-handedly, but there were other Grim in Kurayuri when that was taken down. There was the Nevermore. So that could make sense.
Or something. But, yeah, I was disappointed.
Yeah. But anyway.
And I feel like it was too early to kill it. Is another thing. I feel like this thing is the arch enemy of his life, and I feel like you could have done more for his character if it got away.
Yeah, you could have had the airships come in and drive it off. That would have been okay. And then, hey, next season, maybe we have Ren giving the exposition of what happened and what that thing is and why he really, really, really wants to kill it, and they go on a mission to kill it. Like, on behalf of Haven.
Because it feels like it's just been like the last couple episodes was like, Ren has something else. He's got something more to his story. He's got this big Grim that he's been hunting his entire life. This Grim that he's been wanting to kill his entire life. And then you reveal, hey, look, it's the Grim. Oh, it's dead now.
Yeah, pretty much. So I guess bye, Ren and Nora. Your story arc is essentially complete.
Yeah.
Ambiguous whether you're actually together now or not, but it doesn't particularly matter as far as the ship is concerned. So, bye. We don't need you anymore.
Yeah. That's literally it. That's a problem. Where do the characters go from here?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing you can do is try to create conflict between the two of them, but that's never going to happen. No. Not in this show.
So, yeah, that was a tragic twist. It's, like I say, it's season 2 again. But, in fairness, season 2 actually went somewhere eventually. So, there's trust built up there that if they're doing a season with setup, then they're going to go somewhere with it.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll take another couple seasons, but the payoff might be worth it.
Like they're doing the whole by their justification. This is like a season 1 like
This is
a
Act
part one.
Of this story, yeah.
But there's something to be said for the Act 1 villain coming back later to actually be confronted in Act 3.
Yeah.
But
oh well. So that fight ends anticlimactically, and literally immediately after, airships come down and say, "Hey, we saw something weird was going on, so we thought we'd come and investigate." Which, again, begs the question, when the town was being destroyed. But never mind.
Yeah, like I said, they could have sent people after this. People who could have handled it in less than a minute.
Mm-hmm. So they get on the airship and they get taken to Haven, and it's very pretty.
It's almost like a painting.
Pretty as a painting, one might say. What's that from? Dragon Age. That was from. Lord of the Rings. Pretty as a painting.
And so they get to a room. Finally, Ruby's in a room and Crow's in bed, and he's all not dying now.
Yep.
Yay!
Woo! And Ruby starts writing a letter.
Honestly, if Crow died, it would have been more for a character, but whatever. Yeah. So she starts.
I think it's a bit early to kill the second mentor.
Yeah, it is early, but I don't know. I felt like it was too easy.
Yeah, well, that's basically the watchword for this episode. Too easy. It's fucking. That's a phrase somewhere. I've forgotten where. It's like Australia or New Zealand or something.
Yeah. So she starts writing a letter saying, "Oh man, I miss all you guys. We're doing, Yang, you said it was stupid, and you're right. We've been having a tough time, all of us." And her voice actor's using that same sort of half-crying tone that Ruby's been doing the entire season.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know you told me it was a reckless idea, and after everything I've been through, I can definitely say you were right. It's been hard.
That's not been a good... Voice acting's been very hit and miss this season.
Yeah. We get... Weiss is leaving. She's paying a guy off to get out. Blake's looking at a white fang flag and she's frowning an angry face. Yang's on a boat and she's looking cool with her sunglasses. Her dad's like, "Oh man, I'm so like, oh," and then John's like, "Oh, I'm so sad," and then like Ren and Nora come in, and Ren puts the knife down next to the shield of Pyrrha, and they all like get together, and they're like, "Oh, we're all sad together now," and then we see another shot of Weiss, and she's sitting on her briefcase in a cargo hold, and I think that's really uncomfortable. Why would you do that? It's like a metal briefcase. And she's looking out the window, and which is almost exactly the same as in the first episode or whatever. First time we saw her.
She is of too noble a bearing to sit on the dirty ground like a peasant.
She can sit on the box that that her thing's on top of.
That box
She's sitting
is
on
filthy.
And then Blake brings up the flag, and it's the white fang flag, and it looks so peaceful and happy.
Yeah,
and then
it looks so peaceful and happy. The fucking wolf's head thing with the fangs.
It's got the Undertale human eye, where it's just like a line, the Brock line from Pokemon, if that's more your flavor. Blake Yang gets off on her motorcycle, and she's driving away off the boat, and then little Ozboy is looking solemnly at a thing that says "Haven, be a hero." He's like, "Oh." We get a shot of Ilya is kneeling in front of two White Fang members on top of a rooftop in the middle of the city at night for no reason, instead of an actual base. I don't know why.
There was a lot of setup actually done in this season. Like, a lot of it was really, really hit and miss, but there was some real setup and some real plot just underlining all of this stuff. So
then we saw we saw Cinder is it's still like she's done with her training now ish. She's being real super cool, and then Emerald puts a little vision in her eyes, brain of Ruby, but Ruby's wearing her season 4 costume, which Cinder has never seen her in before, and Cinder's like, I'm gonna burn that because it doesn't belong in this part because it makes no sense. Yeah. And then like,
goddamn retcons.
and then Salem Witch Trials is looking and smiling evilly like, good. And then we move on, and Ruby's still writing her letter because she's like about to cry because it's so emotional writing a letter.
For a reason.
Because it's just shot after shot and shot of people looking at things.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's literally what it is. And so it's like Crow wakes up and he's like, "Oh, you saved me. You know, it's so often you save me. I usually save you." Like, And then Yang goes and she's at a sign, and I'm going to slow down because it's actually important. She's at a sign.
There was a thing that you skipped over a little bit, which was while Ruby was writing the letter, she writes, "For the people we've lost," and then scratches it out, "For the people we haven't lost yet," which is a nice character distinction there.
So, somebody is messaging me a lot in private messages in Discord. I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted. And so Yang is on her motorcycle, and she reaches the crossroads they were at before with Kuroyuri, and Kuroyuri has bandits written on over it. I'm like, bandits? That's okay, sure. And she's like, yeah, I know, right? And she's like, just, you're in so much trouble when I find you, and heads down the way to Mistral. And I'm like, is she saying that to Ruby, or is she saying that to her mom, who is a bandit?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying we don't know. But
yeah,
I'm going to say it's probably Ruby.
Yeah, probably. And then we see Professor Lionheart of Haven Academy's desk.
Guess who he is?
He's probably the Cowardly Lion.
Yeah,
because he wants a heart.
I should establish.
I
didn't correct in the footage that for the season 3 finale that I was wrong about that for Taiyang saying that he was the Cowardly Lion. I prefer my interpretation, to be honest. I like that interpretation of Taiyang being the Cowardly Lion because he doesn't want to go on missions, and he doesn't want his kids to go on missions because he's afraid of losing people or being lost by people. I really like that interpretation way better than I like just, it's another professor and he's a traitor. Great.
Yeah. He's got the scary dude sitting across him drinking his tea, good old Lionheart. And I feel like Lionheart, since he's probably the coward, he's probably like being forced into this because he's scared of Mustache Man and his purple shoes. You know, and that's it. Credits. And we get a brief shot afterwards where Crow's drinking in a bar, and he's approached by little baby farmer boy who's like, I'm supposed to say, give me my cane. Give me my cane. And Crow smiles, throws him the cane, and it's like, welcome back, Oz. And I thought that was a great little moment to end on.
Yeah.
Because I'm really excited for where that character is going to go, because he has his cane now and everything.
Yeah, something happened in this season, and shocker of shockers, it was the little farm boy's storyline. Go figure.
Yeah.
Everything else was kind of meandering and not great. But, stuff happened.
So, let's kind of step back and say, this season has had some really good points, some really not so great points. It's not going to go down as my favorite season of anything. Like, season 3 had a really strong ending, and I know that was supposed to be the final of the first 3.
Yep.
But me and Casey talked about how Blake's character wasn't really going anywhere until, like, right now. Now she's starting to go somewhere. Yang is I haven't seen Yang interact with we haven't seen Yang interact with the rest of her friends at all yet. Same with Weiss. So I don't know how Yang has changed necessarily from this experience, and we have yet to see how. We just know that she has.
Do we? She's been told that she kind of needs to, but that's pretty much it.
I don't know. Weiss is still Weiss.
Weiss is still Weiss and is entirely cut off from Daddy's money and family connections at this point, like severed rather permanently.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm really excited for it's a sort of situation where it's like, man, season 5 is going to be really good.
Yeah, this was mediocre, but there's payoff that's going to be happening.
Yeah, it is like season 2 was.
Season 2 was just set up, and that has its difficulties. This was both transition and setup, and that I'm surprised it was only as bad as mediocre, to be honest, because it could have been a lot worse.
Tyrion, though.
God damn.
Every time he showed up, he took the stage. He stole that stage up from under you and then danced on it.
He did dance.
So, yeah.
Quite well. A bit too much leering, though.
Yeah, Tyrion was a high point, I feel like.
Yeah.
He's, like, if every character was able to just be as well voice acted as Tyrion.
I mean, it introduced
some
characters this season. Salem was technically introduced last season, but she's a nice, enigmatic big bad. Watts is cool, calm, collected sort of bad guy. Just sort of, I am the charismatic and charming one. Intellectual, you might say. You have Tyrion, obviously.
Hazel is the big, strong guy who seems
comparatively entirely uninteresting, but yeah.
Yeah, he's probably the most the one that most likes battle and honor or stuff. I don't know.
He's probably the one that's closest to being a good guy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, he's the one you would fight and bring over to your side later. Yeah. One thing I didn't like. Like, we had the last 3 seasons, we had, or the last 2 seasons specifically, we had Cinder and her 2 friends, her 2 cronies, and they were kind of major antagonists. And the fact that they show up so little, and that frickin' Mercury and Emerald get, like, no lines at all, I feel like you could have done something with that.
Emerald does as an adjutant kind of thing, just speaking for her. But
a few, but like almost no lines comparatively.
The thing is, you get the feeling that at this point they are just so far out of their depth. They just
I think a scene of those 2 together being like, yeah, we are so far out of our depth or something.
Yeah, that would have been good.
I feel like just one scene would have. I don't know. It just felt like Salem showed up and all these other baddies showed up, and they just kind of stole the whole position of big bad, and Cinder kind of is now super backseat and everything. Yeah. Just felt really sudden.
Now that I've said it, I kind of want to write a one-shot of just Emerald and Mercury just being like, what the hell do we do? We're literally watching Grim spawn outside, and Mercury is just basically like, well, what do we do? Like, what do you expect us to do about this situation? We just have to ride this shit out to the end, because what the hell are you expecting to be able to do here?
It just feels like they were thrown too far to the wayside, I guess. We talked a lot about our thoughts on the whole season last episode, actually. But Sun is still a good character. I am still liking Sun a lot, and I don't know that much about him and his history.
Well, here's the thing. We're probably going to get more about Sun and his team because we're going to Haven. And his team are in Haven, and he's from Haven, and they're all going there.
Yeah. But it's... Like, he's a character that brings much-needed brevity, I feel like.
Levity.
To...
Brevity.
Levity. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm my brain's just...
You're hungry.
Yeah, levity.
You're eating soon. So.
Yeah, I am hungry, actually. Levity to Blake's self-sadness, cycle of sadness and running away in sadness.
Self-important sadness is probably how I would phrase it.
Yeah, self-important sadness.
It kind of sounds mean, but it's earned.
And like we have Klein to kind of bring a smidgen of levity. Okay.
You're a writer.
No. They sound similar, so I get I'm getting them mixed up. I'm sorry. Levity. And Ruby's team, I feel... Team Ranger was the sad team. You had Nora there to kind of cheer things up a little bit.
And
but
failed.
Most of the time was...
She wasn't very good at it.
No, she wasn't good at it at all. And then you had Ren be sad as well at the end. And I feel like... It's like you have Yang and she's all sad, and you had that weird sort of laughing about scene.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
That was really weird.
But, you know, there's got to be something that you could have done with Team RWBY to not make it so sad all the time.
Well,
Like, they had brief jokes. But I never felt like... Because, like, every time there was, like, a brief joke, like, another scene later, you'd see, like...
Well, like I say, this was a transitional scene. So, this is them coming to terms, and now they can allow themselves to be happy again. That's what this season is about.
I don't feel like Ruby's come to terms with that much at all.
I think she has. I think that's what the letter scene was about.
She was still sad in the letter scene.
She was
still,
but that's
like,
that's called catharsis.
Like, you know, Jean learned all about Pyrrha and the circumstances that led to her demise, and he was able to kind of close that door in his life. Ren got to very easily kill the thing that ruined his life and Nora's life. I guess we don't know what.
Way more durable.
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing all the fucking arrows and shit in its back?
Yeah. And he beheaded it with a knife. So, just a normal knife.
Yeah, just a normal knife.
Yeah.
Like one that's blade was not actually as long as its neck, so
with no aura.
Literally should have been impossible.
With a knife with no well, he had no aura. So, and then RWBY Crow didn't die. Crow was introduced, got poisoned, didn't die. She found out people were after her. Still misses her friends.
That's probably a Doylist thing that Crow was injured and didn't die. Is they needed him to be not capable for a few episodes so Ren could have his moment of glory.
Yeah.
Because, as you say, Crow would have ended that shit in like 30 seconds.
Yeah. But I feel like, yeah, again, it's just complaining at this point that we didn't get more from RWBY.
I feel like that one fight scene is really just bringing down the entire thing for us. Like, if that fight scene was better, if it had more impact and more gravitas behind it, then we probably would have just said, hey, this season was good, and we'd be a lot more positive. But that was such a fucking downer note.
like there were lots of parts in the season that I actually really did like. And if you've been watching, Zero Interest for a while, you've seen I got really hyped when Weiss summoned that night armor. I was like, oh yeah, we're going places, And there were fun parts. The whole fight on the boat with Blake and when they were fighting the
fight with Tyrion was pretty good.
Yeah, there were lots of great fights and lots of great character moments and comedy in the season. So it's not like the season was bad. It has failings, and I feel like it shouldn't have those failings.
Yeah.
Because they have such a great track record for fights now at this point that I feel like... Okay, come on. We mentioned there were already a few great fights in this season.
There were, yes, but they also, just generally speaking, kind of hit and miss as far as fights are concerned since Monty's passing, naturally. No, even before then, there were some that were just kind of breach, obviously. Like the early fights in season 3, like the one with Juniper, was bad and contrived how they won. And the one for Team Sun was really kind of a little bit stilted, and the ending was absolutely fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I get the feeling they aren't really good at ending fights. Like, that's probably their biggest failing. They don't know how to end them properly.
I feel like they're too scared to let their characters take major damage. Because
take damage, yeah. The greatest danger they were in the fight in this episode was Ren lost his aura. Okay.
If Ren came out of this and he had a scar or something,
yeah, like style, that would have been okay. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I'd have been down for that. If this was like a tough, dragged out fight of like, no, we are hitting this thing and it is hitting back just as hard, even harder.
And it felt like a struggle, that would have been fantastic. I'd have been down for that, but it just wasn't. And it deserved to be. With the build-up, with the design, with the
we need to stop.
Impact,
we need to stop. We need to
stop
stop on this. We need to stop just ranting about the fight because
I guess
it's not fair to the rest of the season. I feel like.
Well, in fairness, this is the review for episode 12.
Yeah.
We have said the positive things in the episodes where the positive things happened. It's just unfortunate that it ends on such a sour note.
Yeah. But hey, I'm willing to watch season 5. They've got me. Hopefully a lot of stuff that in this season pans out to greater things. And hopefully at one point little Whitley boy gets punched in the face.
Probably.
Yeah. All right.
I'm kind of hoping for a Joffrey slap thing going on.
Or Joffrey poisoning.
No, just Joffrey slap.
Yeah. And him.
Whitley's not especially malicious. He's just...
No, but I just really want to punch him in the face.
No, he just deserves some, imp slaps is what he needs. Set him on the right track. I
need Weiss's mom to rise from the grave and just spank him. Oh, she's alive?
Pointing out, her only contribution to the season was Whitley pointing out she was drinking in the garden, so...
Okay. Well, then she needs to rise from the garden into the grave of beer and smack him around.
I feel like she's more of a wine drinker, to be honest.
Her mom has felt like she's been dead, okay? You have to admit, she's done absolutely nothing other than have one line attributed.
Yeah,
so
literally nothing. This feels like a really shitty note to end the series on for Zero Interest, but oh well. That's how it goes.
Well, we're not ending. We're just ending the series on RWBY,
Yeah.
I guess, for now. Hey, Friend's mom did more than Weiss's mom did this season.
That's true. Ren's mom was cool.
Yeah.
Ren's
It's a
parents
shame
were cool.
about the thing. Yeah, his parents were cool. I don't know what Nora's origin is, and it confounds me. So there is stuff
I'm
they
gonna
can.
assume orphan.
There is they can do more with Nora, and I feel like
they could, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they give them something.
It's not necessarily the end for the character arcs. That was just. There's a way out. I'm saying.
Maybe.
Because I get that they needed to build up. They need to have. You need to have like a. It's a tradition at this point that they have a big fight at the end. Of some sort.
Well, it's generally a fighting show.
Yeah.
Mostly.
But you got to have that big fight at the season end, and it's like, well, I guess we'll just have the big fight against this, and they have to win because. I mean, they lost last time. They still beat the dragon, but
I don't know. Maybe if they had been, the thing had been allowed to escape, it would have felt too much like a retread of the first 3 arcs, because that's how they went. Oh, we're gonna have a big fight against Roman, and then he gets away.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe that's why. I don't know.
But Roman doesn't have the character gravitas that this thing had.
Yeah, I mean, Ren's story arc was basically brought up and ended in the space of 3 episodes.
Yeah, that's what really irks us, I guess.
Yeah.
And why we keep mentioning, oh, you should have mentioned something about this earlier.
Yeah.
So it could have been building up longer, and we could have. That way, when it ended in 10 minutes, wouldn't have felt so.
Yeah. And all the little nods and hints to it earlier in the season, like, oh, this place was destroyed by the Grimm? No. Just one. And that would have meant something, and we'd be like, oh, is it that one? Oh,
Yeah.
It could have been like, but no, it meant literally nothing to us until now.
Yeah. But.
So, let's wrap up, shall we?
Let's wrap up.
So,
this has been Zero on Zero Interest, watching RWBY, a show that I previously had no interest in whatsoever. Thank you. Show that I previously had no interest in whatsoever, and had dropped after the first 6 or 7 episodes while I was following it weekly when it first came out. And now I'm caught up.
that was a shitty outro.
yeah,
So,
I know.
Zero.
I was expecting you to jump in.
Was uninterested. Now, it has Zero's interest, you could say. So, I feel like this show has been successful in its initial endeavor to gain Zero's interest. So, thank you for joining us on this journey through the entire current run of RWBY. We might be back with RWBY Season 5 when that comes out, but it'll be a different show. It'll be basically the same show, but under a different name. And we'll be back with whatever we're doing next. I don't think Zero has actually decided yet whether it's going to be...
I'm going to freaking make you watch Konosuba.
What the fuck is Konosuba?
It's amazing. You'll love it.
I have literally never heard of this one. I was honestly expecting to say ReZero or Mob Psycho or One Punch or something. But no, okay, fair enough. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to be entirely surprised, I guess.
Make you freaking watch Konosuba.
Okay.
Because the season 2 just ended of that, so we got some stuff for that.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
So, thanks for watching, and
Yeah.
I guess you'll see us in a few days anyway, because by the time, this comes out, we'll have recorded more. Probably 3 months from now.
At one point, you're just going to have to speed up the releases.
Yeah, it is 3 months from now. I just worked it out. Yeah, that's... I think. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, yeah. So, thanks for watching. I'll be back. So.
Bye.